let's do this. Cool, just giving it a second, making sure I'm live, and I think we're good. We're good to go, we're live. Alrighty, so we're gonna just pick up where we left off in the last stream and try to finish this guy off. I want to get as close to possible as done with the model itself, and then we have to do all the boring stuff like Uving. But I think we're not too far off, so maybe another stream or two, and I think this model will be done. Hopefully the cleanup won't take as long as that I'm worried that it will, but if not, I think we should be done pretty soon. So I just want to add a few more details. So I think it's just looking at it again, I think it's still a little bit lacking in terms of additional detail. So I think what I'll do is add a few more pieces that kind of come out. Notice some cool things, like some of these cool these kind of cool shapes there. So I was thinking maybe we could do something like that down around here, have a few of these kind of pipes feed back into the helmet, and then we could probably have maybe some at the top as well, just to kind of give this some sort of interest at the top there. So and then it's just cleaning it up and just retopoing. So I did take a quick look at how to retopo in Blender, so that's kind of a new thing that I've learned since. So we'll try to do that live on stream and see how it goes. Hopefully it turns out okay, but we'll find out. But yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, I think this first piece, I'll probably just adjust this a little. I want to add a little front plating kind of like this, or I keep coming back to these two because they're definitely the closest to references that I want to do. So something like this would be really cool as well. So yeah, I might do something like that with this piece, but at the moment it's covering a lot of this top area. So I think I'll scale this inwards a little, and then I'll add an additional piece in front. So we'll just maybe I can, let's see, maybe not duplicate that piece, but instead we just make it an entirely new piece. And yeah, just kind of move this outwards to here. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like this, and then I'll scale this arm. So we do something like this, maybe just a little bit thinner, and then we need to get this to kind of wrap around just a tad, maybe at the ends. I don't want this to be too long, this piece. Maybe not as long as that, because it doesn't quite suit this design, but maybe something like this, and then we'll just try to wrap this guy around a bit. So yeah, let's do this. Let's go to the side view and let's try to use this extrusion technique. It never seems to work for me when I do this. I think it's to do with the scaling actually. So if I just freeze the scale, this should actually work. So let's see. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So I might push that down a bit and then just do something like this. Yeah, I think something like that. And then I might actually just add some additional detail here as well. And scale this to 0. And let's grab these, move this out. Yeah, so when it comes to texturing, I'll probably use Substance for this. I'm still too new to Blender to really know how to properly texture inside of Blender. Using all the vertex painting and all that sort of stuff, it's just a bit too, yeah. And I probably won't use Blender for texturing anyway, so I don't think there's a point in me trying to learn how to do that. Yeah, do something like this. So this is looking pretty good to me. You know, I might just change this a little, like that, and just set shade smooth, auto smooth. So we have an additional piece there now. So we probably need to fix this piece as well by just like grabbing this stuff, just moving this out, something like that. Maybe just adding some additional geometry there to help. Global. Yeah, it's good enough. Not really going to refine every single piece perfectly, but we add in these extra things, so maybe something like that, and then add something like this on top. So let's do that. Let's add a new piece, cylinder. Drop this down to 16, and let's just move this piece down to here. Pointing down this way, maybe? Something like that, yeah. Switch back to local. I think I'm starting to get the hang of the keys. It's just, sometimes it's just a little bit of tiny bit of thinking involved, but it feels much more familiar than when I first started doing the stream, so just like a couple of weeks ago. So it doesn't take too long for the muscle memory to kick in, which is a good thing. Now I find it weird because when I go back to Maya, I'm trying to do Blender hotkeys when I'm inside of Maya. It's terrible. Yep, so do something like that, and shade smooth, and we'll do auto smooth. In fact, I'm just gonna shade smooth all these pieces. And this one here, shade smooth, and we have to just go and auto smooth each one of these. Also started messing around with scripting inside of Blender. It's actually not too complicated, you know, so I might start writing like a few simple scripts, like just automatically auto smooth everything that's selected, you know, just like handy little scripts like that, which I think will save a lot of time for me in the long run. So there's something about this piece I needed to do, which is bend this piece. So right now we have this huge face here, which is kind of going to be a little bit problematic for that. So I'll delete this, and then I'll try to delete that back face as well. And let me isolate this. I think what I need to do is use grid fill. So if I use grid fill, that should fill this up. So if I just type grid fill, and you can see it kind of does like a much better job than I would if I tried to manually do this. So I'll just offset this a bit, and let's see, simple blending. No, I think I like this better. So, and then I'll probably do something on the back the same. So let's do grid fill, offset this again, and then yeah, just leave it like that. So cool. That's something that I don't think Maya has, which is, this is like pretty powerful, that grid fill thing. I wish Maya had something like that. I mean, I could be wrong, maybe they do, but yeah, now we need to bend this piece, so not exactly sure how to do that. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like some sort of bend deformer, like curve, like is that kind of the equivalent? Curve object deform axis. Okay, interesting. So I think you create some sort of curve object first, and then that's what's used to bend this. I mean, I'm guessing that that's what this is. I probably won't mess with that just in case. it'll take longer to figure that out than if I just like use like some sort of soft selection. So let's just turn on that, and yeah, Blender's not very like tablet friendly, which is one of my biggest gripes, I guess. You know, I might just do something wild, like just pull this out a lot, and then just like transform it back, like screw it. Just do this in like a very rudimentary way. Probably reset this pivot. Do something like this, like pretty manual, but does the job, you know. Like none of this stuff really fits together perfectly, so I'm not trying to. In fact, I think just like by doing it in this really loose way, it just adds to the realism. So this piece needs a little bit more detail. So these ones. So a lot of this detail I'm just gonna do in texturing. So like this sort of stuff. Like maybe I'll add this as like actual geometry, you know, I'll play around with some shapes around the top of the head, but a lot of this stuff I can just texture, so I'm trying not to overdo the geometry detail. Even though it's like, I'm going for like film style, so I'm not really, I guess I'm not really trying to be like efficient with the modeling. Yeah. I still don't want to be like reckless either, so yeah, let's grab these edges here. In fact, let's just grab it all, and maybe I'll just deselect this one. How did I select this? Okay, let's try this again. I'm just gonna have to isolate this, I think, and deselect. That's odd that it's doing that. It's like really going inwards like that a lot, so it's kind of not doing what I want. Yeah, that's not how I want to bevel. Let's try absolute. No, it's not absolute. Yeah, I want this to, oh, I see. I know what's going on. It's because the scale. Anytime something weird goes on, it's always the scale. I should know better by now. But yeah, let's try this again. There we go, that's better. And then I can probably grab the faces. So I think I can just grab the faces along here. And this one. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, I think this works. Okay. Just trying to select these edges just so I can bevel just these edges on their own. So yeah, something like that. Cool. And then I'll just start breaking this up because I don't want this to be perfect. Sweet, and let's start beveling this piece as well. Am I happy with the shape? I just have to be sure before I start adding all this extra detail. I want to do some sort of cut here though. Let's see, maybe I can do some sort of Boolean operation. So if I go cylinder, grab this guy over, scale it up. Actually, I have a better idea. So what if I, instead of doing that, just use this piece as the Boolean mesh? So I can duplicate this and let's see. Let's isolate this and might just move this piece inward a bit because I don't want it to Boolean this section. I just want it to Boolean that section, but if I just increase the thickness now and use this as a Boolean object, so increase the depth, do something like much bigger like this. Okay, let's see, I think this could work. And then we just get out of here and then let's convert this. So let's go convert to mesh. And then we should be able to use this to Boolean. It's a little bit low res, so I might just up res it a bit. Maybe like 3. No, that might be too high. Yeah, okay, let's apply this. Okay, this is too high, so maybe just 1 division. Maybe that's even too much. Let's just get rid of that. Let's just Boolean it like this. So just make sure it's done it correctly. I mean, this area is a little bit funny, but you know, it might be okay. And then it's a little bit too thick, actually. I think I went too far with the thickness. So let's see if we can just tone this down a bit. And if anything, I think I want to move this piece further down. Turn on the soft selection. Maybe just move this down a tad. And then do this Boolean again. Convert this to mesh, Boolean, and we have something like that, which is cool. And then I need to add all this, so this piece is going to be a little bit tricky to clean up now after the Boolean, but we'll give it a shot. I think what I need to do is create some sort of like contain edge. So I want to contain this edge here, which is going to be a little bit tricky, I think. But if there's a way I can grab all these edges, so like these ones here I probably don't need, so I'm going to dissolve them. This one for sure I don't need, and all this here I can probably just grab that, and let's just merge to last. And then here let's do the same, grab this to that and merge last, and these two here, and I can probably actually just dissolve this. Let's dissolve this, and let's dissolve this, and also this one. Yeah, let's just merge that. Okay. This one we don't need. Don't need that. And this middle line, I'm not so convinced I like, so I might just try to cut it in a different spot. Same for this here. Let's just cut it to there. This there. There we go. And let's just dissolve that. So it's a little bit cleaner now. So yeah, just trying to clean this thing up. Maybe this actually makes sense to go there. So use this knife tool again. Let's try this again. To there. Doesn't like it. We can try use the join. So the Alt J, is that join? No. J? Just J. There should be a game, I think, like a Blender game, where if you can just figure out how, if it's just like a command comes up on screen and you have to hit like a keyboard shortcut, and if you get it right within a certain amount of time, you keep going. I would definitely lose that game right now, but it would be a fun game. Alright, so it's a little bit cleaner, so I can probably now just like, I think this is a little bit redundant here actually, so if I had to be honest, I could probably just, yeah, I'll just merge this down to there. So yeah, just get rid of that. Cool. Yeah, so now I need to kind of, you know, I just want to add some additional contain edges around this. So I think there's a way to do it if I just let's deselect these middle ones. And let's, I think it's Control Shift R. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I want. And then we do something like that. So now it's all contained. So when we start to smooth this thing out, it should work a little bit better. But now I also need to clean this up here as well. So you know, the way this is bending right now, it's not gonna end too well for me. So I think I need to just kind of clean this up. Let's try flatten this out a little. That's not gonna work either. Yeah, I'm not so convinced about this cut there, but I might have to just do 2 cuts. I'm not sure how that's gonna look, but let's see. And let's just fix this topology here as well. Let's go up to there. Yeah, let's just take this up to there. It's pretty dirty geometry. And I think we can clean this up a little as well. We can just take the knife up to there and just kill this stuff. Kill this one. This can go all the way up till there. Perfect. Definitely not the cleanest topology, but you know, I think it'll do for now. And we need to bevel this whole thing, so I can try using the I can try just using the Bevel Modifier and see what kind of results we get. So, you know, if I just throw this on, it doesn't seem like it's doing what I want. Yeah, that doesn't seem like it's doing what I want, so let's say no to that. I guess we just have to do this manually, so just grabbing all these edges. Let's grab this edge. This edge here, these two edges, this edge. Something weird's going on down there, so probably need to fix that. We'll just bevel this first and then we'll fix that after, but yeah, let's see. Getting some weird results again, so if I'm to bet, it's probably because the scale again, so let's just save my selection and let's fix the scale. Yeah, it's definitely the scale, so fix the scale. And let's fix this area first before we get to beveling again, because there's something strange going on here. Like this one, let's move this across. Yeah, so I think there's just like a zero length face going on somewhere in there. Should be relatively easy to fix. I mean, we could just start by deleting this, and I think here we can just do two cuts. So if I do something like this, take that to there, take that to there, and let's just kill this face as well. And let's just fill this in, yeah. And then once I bevel, I'll just figure out how to clean this section up, but not the end of the world. So yeah, let's do the same thing here. Just kill that. Just do two cuts. And fill this in. This here is kind of sticking out in a weird way as well, so maybe I'll just slide this in a bit and see if I can just slide this in a bit as well. Something like that. Yeah, not trying to be too like perfect. I don't like, honestly, I don't think it really matters. All right, so let's grab this selection again. Oh no, I forgot to assign the stuff to the vertex group. Oh well, just have to manually select this thing again. You learn. Actually, I think maybe it's quicker if I just grab it by face. So yeah, that's way better. So let's just grab all the faces. I wonder if there's a way to convert the selection so that it grabs just the outer border. Don't think so, actually. Oh well. Let's just manually deselect this stuff then. I'm not sure if this is better or worse. Cool, bevel. Just a tiny bevel. And yeah, I mean, it's not too bad, this actually. You can just do something like that. Cool. And let's try smoothing this, see how it looks. Two divisions, yeah, it's not too bad. I definitely want to add some, like contain these ones so we don't lose that kind of nice sharp look. So maybe something like this. For whatever reason, it's not going around. Yeah, so let's just take this around manually. There's probably something going on with the mesh. It's because this triangle here, that's why. There we go. And I can just merge these together. Alright, so yeah, that's nice and sharp there. I actually like this kind of smooth bend around here because I think if I try to make these like harsh edges, it's gonna look pretty nasty. So yeah, I like that. That's there, kind of, you know, lines up with this in a pretty nice way. I do like that. That's open. I'll probably do some sort of additional bevel around there, but it looks okay for now. And maybe this area needs to be sharp, so if I just grab this, Control Shift R, and just do that. Yeah, there we go. And lastly, maybe this would be kind of cool if I just made this a little bit sharper as well. There we go. Cool, so this piece is kind of done as far as I'm concerned. This piece looks okay. Let's just make sure I shade smooth and auto smooth. Auto smooth. And let's see. Let's do these additional details before we forget. So adding this sort of stuff. I do like this kind of thing with the that kind of like the nut with this sort of tubing. So yeah, let's do something like that. I've never actually modeled this inside a Blender, so I guess we can make something like that. So I suppose we can start off with a cylinder and go from there. So if I do something like this, flatten this down. Actually, we probably want something with, let's see, what is it, like a hexagon? So 6. Cylinder, make this with 6 sides, and just scale this down. I'm not gonna even bother doing the middle. I'll just add the bevels to this, and this can be like our little nut. There we go. Yeah, this will be pretty easy. Let's just bevel the whole thing. And shade smooth and auto smooth. Yeah, I think I might actually use 2 divisions because, like I mentioned, we're just going to treat it like a film model, so we don't really care about the topology, like how dense it is. So yeah, cool, that'll do. Shade smooth, auto smooth, so that looks a little bit better. Alright, sweet. You can use this guy. Just I'll probably hide this one there for now, and In fact, let's just put it in its own collection. So, whoops, not that. How do we put it in a group? M, new collection, and reuse. Let's put it in a collection called reusable. And yeah, let's just hide that. And if I duplicate this, let's see, copy paste, there we go. This axis. And this here, I might just move this edge a little bit further along there, so just give this room so I can put this this nut there. And let's just give it some sort of random rotation. Do I want this one mirrored? Not sure. Probably not, actually. Just have this like asymmetrical, so it's only on this side. And there's a really handy thing I found out is you can align transform orientation, and it just kind of aligns it. So I actually think it's somewhere in here, transform, align, transform to orientation, and it just copies, the orientation, which is super helpful. Yeah, so place that there, and let's see, you know, this comes out a little bit, so let's scale it out this way. And just bevel this top section. One segment is probably enough for there. Let's try this again. Yeah, I'm not happy with, I think it's the scale. The damn scale, every single time with the scale. There we go. Now it's beveling the way I want. Cool, and yeah, let's grab this piece, shade smooth, make sure the auto smooth. Yep, that's on there. In fact, I might even just should we even just smooth this? Like maybe smoothing this actually looks better. So if we do smooth this piece, then I'll probably get rid of the back. So let's isolate this. Delete that, and just add another contain edge there. So if we smooth it, it's going to look a little bit better. Probably need to inset this face, and let's inset it one more time and just merge to center. There we go. Sweet, one division. And we can probably just duplicate this again. And do something like this. Fix some of this stuff up. Let's add a Bezier curve to do this kind of pipe. So not sure where this will go to though. Maybe I'll go to somewhere here. Just keep it simple. So I can just grab this entire thing and just duplicate it across. If I just set this to rotate from median point, should be able to rotate them all. Yeah, perfect. this is somewhere here. Maybe I'll put it just a bit further back, actually. Might look a bit more interesting. So something I've noticed is how fast I'm able to model, despite how long it's, like how long I've been using Blender, because I've only been using it like 2-3 weeks, I don't know, something like that. But it, like, once you get the hang of it, it feels like really, it feels really natural, which is great. I think it's just getting over the hurdle of just like the muscle memory at the beginning, like really just forcing myself to sit down and try to use it. Where's the where's all my points for this guy? Am I missing something for this? There we go. So let's subdivide this, and I might just turn on face snapping and just snap this to that. Snap this to this face there. Same with this one. Perfect. And let's just turn off snapping. Might even set this back to vertex. So this one here, I want it to rotate downwards like that. And this one, I want it to rotate upwards like that. So it just feels a little bit more coherent. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions, feel free to just drop it into the chat. You know, specifically, if you're curious about Maya to Blender and my thoughts, how I'm adapting. I mean, it's still pretty early days, but I can already tell that it's gonna be good. It's looking promising. This could be my daily driver. I think I'll still rely on Maya for a whole bunch of things, though, such as Uving. So I heard the UV tools in Blender aren't so great. So yeah, I probably will stick to just Uving inside of Maya and just like going back and forth. Animation, I think I'm definitely sticking to Maya, just because the rigging side of things, I don't want to just deal with the rigging inside of Maya. I mean, inside of Blender. You know, I spent so long learning how to rig inside of Maya that just doesn't make sense. Plus the animation tools in Maya just, you know, I think it's second to none. So let's add a bit of thickness to this guy. 0.05? No, that's too much. 0.02. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. It does feel like it's coming out like quite a far away, but maybe that's what I want. Maybe that's what I want. This here feels like it needs to just point out a little bit more though. Something like that. I don't know. I'm not so happy with the shape there. I think it needs to, just feels a little bit odd. I think that feels a bit better, but yeah, cool. And I might do some of that stuff going on the top of the head as well. So top of the head, I might do some of this, like this helix shape. I wonder if there's a helix here. Gears. I mean, it doesn't look like there's a helix shape, like a helix primitive. Torus object, twisted torus? Torus knot? Let's try this twisted torus and see if this is what I want. No, that's not it. Let's try Super Toroid. That's an interesting name. No, that doesn't look like it either. I mean, that would suck if there's no torus object. I mean, if there's no helix object. Pipe joint? No, that's not it. There really is no helix object? Torus knot. This is a cool primitive, but definitely not a helix. Extras, here we go. Simple star. Wow, there's really no helix? Okay. I mean, that's a bummer. Hey, Mix Chief. Good to see you. Shout out from Sweden. I'm a Blender user who's forced using Maya due to school requirements, but a Blender user by heart. Also bought Schnapp's plugin for Maya. Well, thanks, Mix Chief. Hey, Ganu. Hello, sir. Hello to you. Thanks for buying Schnapp's, by the way. I'm glad you're here watching the stream. And I can understand your sentiment about the about having to use Maya instead of Blender, because I actually teach a Maya course, and I have a student who is a Blender user at heart as well. And I told him, I'm like, you know, because of the course requirements, you know, I have to teach in Maya, but if you want to use Blender, you know, wink, you can use Blender. So you can adjust the settings of the torus knot during creation. Ah, interesting. Okay, so let's try that again. So let's go Shift A mesh, torus objects, torus knot. So you're saying that this is something I can turn into a helix? Knot type. Interesting. Ooh. 3, knot type 1, 2, 3. Resolution. It's not quite what I want, is it? It's pretty interesting though. You can change the knot type. That's kind of cool, actually. I mean, there's surely a way to create a helix inside of Blender. It's just I'm not familiar with it enough to know exactly. Round cube, that's a cool primitive. But you know, I'm just gonna cheat, because why not? You know, if I have both Maya and Blender, just use them for what they're good at. So I'm just gonna boot up Maya and just make a helix inside of Maya and just steal it. But in the meantime, I can make some of these strange objects. So let's start off with a cylinder. And actually, that's probably not the cylinder I want. I want to give this 16. Yeah, something like this. Shade smooth, auto smooth. All right, so here I am inside of Maya, by the way, just so I can steal a helix. So make a helix. See, I'm pressing like Blender hotkeys now when I'm inside of Maya. That's a little bit scary, but let's add a few more coils just to hide a bit, and let's change the radius so it's not as thick. Yeah, that looks something like that. It's close enough, and we can probably increase the resolution 12 along the axis, maybe a little bit more. We can do, I'm gonna make it high enough so I don't have to smooth this, so let's try something like 24. Yeah, this is high enough where I don't need to smooth it. And we just export this. So let's put it here, and I'll just export it somewhere here. OBJ is fine. Import, let's move this out of the way. OBJ, wavefront OBJ, helix OBJ. There we go. It's a cheat, but it does the job. And let's insert, extrude this up, and this here, I can probably just do this. Add an additional loop there, and add one here, and finally set this, extrude this down. Oops, the hell did I press? The hell did I press? I just hid the whole collection. Is there a hotkey for that? I must have accidentally pressed it. Seems like a useful hotkey actually. If I can find it again. But let's just delete the faces there. I don't think we're gonna see inside this. So yeah, not a big deal. If anything, I'll just move this down a bit more. Actually, I'll just close it off. And this I probably can just delete, so that way I don't even really need this. I can extrude this in once just so when I smooth it, it's gonna look a little bit nicer. And this here, just do something like this, and let's kill the scale and let's smooth it. So here, something like that. Cool. I mean, it's close enough to that piece. I don't really need this to be exactly the same. If anything, I might just grab these bits here and let's see, grab the inside. Still trying to get my handle on these hotkeys. There we go. Push this in a bit. Alright, I think that's enough time on that one piece. Yeah, I really need a whole ass because it's just taking too long to get these little things done. 3D always takes longer than what people think. Even professionals find, like, you think it's gonna take X amount of time and it always takes like twice, 3 times as long. Cool. Let's just make another cylinder, and let's see, I can try to snap it to this guy. Oh, you can make a helix. Okay, let's try that. I don't have helix in my search. Maybe there's something I'm missing in some sort of add-on that I'm missing. Extra curves. Okay, let me check that out, because yeah, so Mixed Chief saying that there's some add-on that allows you to create helix. So it's called extra objects, add curve. So I had the extra objects mesh, but not the curves enabled. 100% that is probably what it is. There we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's so good. Thank you. Thank you, Mixed Chief. Yes, because I knew there was gonna be a way. I'm like, there's no way there's no helix, right? So that's very cool. Good to know. You can play with the height, the width, sweet, start angle, end angle, and I'm guessing there's some sort of option to, there's presets. Wow, there's a whole bunch of different profiles. So end angle, so I can increase the end angle, I guess. Interesting. Yeah, that's super handy. So it should be in here then, right? Wow, look at all these cool little extra things. You have a setting in the lower left corner, the redo menu. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. So Helix 3D. So this end angle is, I guess I can just multiply this by, I guess, like a value, I suppose, like 10. Or do I just type multiply 10? There we go. Yeah, I can just multiply it. And the resolution, I can probably just multiply that as well by 10. Super powerful. And I'm guessing this is a regular curve, so I can just give it some like thickness like that. Wow, look at that. So cool. And the mapping is all there. That's one thing I wish is, like, once you've accepted the once you've kind of accepted the settings, that you can adjust it after the fact, but it doesn't look like you can. So it doesn't let you change the settings afterwards, and that's the only thing that I think is like one advantage of Maya. Is like once you create your primitives, the input is always there, so you can do whatever. You can just create like another object or something, but you can always come back and just change the settings. So hopefully this is something that they'll add into Blender if it doesn't exist already. But that's the one thing I think Maya just feels a little bit better, is the primitive creation process. But man, just the number of primitives you get. Yeah, it is a blessing and a curse. You know, not having the construction history. In Maya, I've like, my habit now is just like Shift Alt D. I always tell students, like, when you're modeling, just Shift Alt D every 5 seconds, and you're just killing the history as you go, and it becomes a lot more stable. I think Maya's like perfectly stable. I think if you've just used it long enough that you kind of know, you know, all the little quirks. And yeah, I think if you know little quirks, you tend to be a little bit safer when you're working. Yeah, the deformer system in Blender is just it's just superior. It's just far superior. Like all the, I mean, I don't even know half of these. Like I don't even know where like the bend deformer would be, but I messed around with the lattice. I actually wrote a little script for the lattice for those that are interested. Let's see if I can pull up my notes. Okay, so copy my notes to somewhere. So where is it? Just not these ones. Here we go, create lattice. So if I just copy this and let's go to the scripting tab. So I think one of the painful parts of the lattice is you got to create that lattice object. And I know there's like already scripts out there to do this, but I wrote a little script that actually creates the lattice object and makes it the bounding box size of your current selection. So let's see if it works. So I grab this, Alt P, and if I go back, you can see now it's just made a lattice and it's connected it up. Where is it? To this field, and it's also named it based on the object that you have selected, and then you can always just come to the lattice object and just, you know, bump this up, and then yeah, just mess with the lattice and it's all connected. So that's a good thing about knowing like Python well enough. It just helps like doing things like this. So I figured, oh, I can just write my own little Python script to do that. It wasn't too hard to write. So yeah, if you guys are interested, just leave it on the screen here and you can, you know, come and grab it. I'll probably throw this inside of the Discord chat as well, inside of our Discord. So if you guys want to grab this, it's probably going to be in the Discord somewhere after the stream. Alrighty, so yeah, I mean, let's keep going because, you know, I'm about to end the stream. I'm trying to keep these streams to 1 hour. So I don't want to dilly-dally too long because I only have like a few minutes left before I hit 1 hour. Alright, so let's snap the cursor to selected, and let's snap that to the cursor and scale this up. Shade smooth, auto smooth. Make this a little bit bigger, and yeah, let's just inset this. In fact, I might just grab both these and inset them together, and then bridge these together just to create some sort of thing like that. Yeah. Yeah, let's create a little cap at the top there as well, and then we can have the tube come out. So maybe I'll just reuse this again. And it looks like it has some sort of just something like that, I guess. Yeah, and let's see. Let's do a bevel on this guy and this guy. Oops. Man, I wish there was an easy way to select the outsides. There's got to be a way to just select the boundaries, but So yeah, you're saying you're impressed. You did this little script just like that. It's fun. Yeah, I mean, scripting is it's not too difficult once you get the hang of it. I feel like it's all very similar stuff. So a lot of doing the script is just understanding the commands, and that's why there's documentation. So you know, if I just pull out, like if I go to here and I show you the Blender docs, I just type Blender API, there's a Python API, and inside here has everything you need to know. So all you really need to learn is how to script in Python. And once you kind of understand that, it's just learning the framework. So learning all these different commands and stuff like that, which, you know, all that information's here. So, and it takes a while to learn how to read documentation, but once you learn how to read documentation, most documentation is kind of the same. So it's just like coding in general. I think once you learn how to code in general, you can just start to figure things out. And you can learn like different commands. So for example, this, let's see, what's a good command? Let's see, like this one, for example, active object, or let's even go by selection. So if I just make a new script, text, new, and import BPY, and I think it was context.selected objects. So if I run this, it'll just return selected objects. So if I go window, this thing's covering it, and system console, I've got invalid. Shouldn't be invalid. Oh, that's because I have nothing selected. There we go. So this should show me a result, or if I print this, it should show me a result. So let's see. Still not showing me. Why? Oh, I think I just crashed my Blender. Please. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so it's showing me my selected object there. And that freaks me out, actually. I'm gonna save because I don't want to lose all this. I don't want to lose all this work that I just did. Yeah, so let's go file, save as. Just quickly save this and I'll get back to that whole scripting thing. But yeah, like a lot of these commands, they actually have like help. So if you run help on this sort of stuff, it tends to tell you like information about the command itself. So you can see this is just a list object. So you can tell that it's returning a list because, yeah, I guess. I think it's crashed again. I think it's actually crashed for good this time. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, if you want to learn Python, it's a great skill to have. I think, you know, I use Python for like so many things. Like I've used Python in Houdini. I've used Python in Maya. I've used Python in Unreal. I think once you learn Python, it's just learning the commands and just reading documentation. Interesting, Serpens. Okay, I'll definitely check out that that plugin. But yeah, I think I crashed my I crashed my Blender. Classic. Just as you try to show someone something, you know, it always happens. So I mean, this might be a good place to end the stream. Like now that I've completely destroyed Blender. Okay, yeah. Just pull this new version of Blender up. Just kind of show the progress we've made, which isn't like a lot of progress this time, but some progress is better than none. So let's go this. Thank goodness I saved, right? Like what a clutch move. So yeah, like this is kind of where we left off. I mean, where we ended up. Not really that much further along than when I started, but we've cleaned up a few pieces. I'm gonna add additional detail to those bits, like here. and then I'll probably do like some extra stuff going on, up around the head. So definitely scaled this down a bit. And yeah, I think, you know, fleshing out these pieces and then fleshing out some of the detail here, just so it's not just like a cylinder. And yeah, retoppling these pieces. So I didn't get around to retoppling this stuff, but I'll do it in the next live stream. And yeah, then we'll UV this in Maya and then just texture this in Substance, and yeah. Okay, autosave. That's a good idea. I wonder if I have it enabled, I just don't know where it saves it. Let's see. Save and load. Autosave timer. Okay, so it looks like I do have autosave, so even if I did lose it, it's good to know that it's saved somewhere. I'm guessing it saves it in the same folder directory, so I'm guessing it saves it in here somewhere, right? Yeah, I'm not sure where it saves it. I'm guessing it saves it somewhere there. I need to look up where like all this stuff is saved, but yeah, that's a good thing to know, the autosave thing. And I'll also check out that Serpens once I'm off of the live stream, because yeah, that looks like it's pretty interesting. Saves it in temp. Okay, that's good to know. Thanks for the help, by the way, Mix Chief. It's a lot more fun like doing interactive live stream and actually chatting with someone than you know, just kind of like working away on my own. There's a recover menu. Ah, that's right, recover. Autosave. Oh, I see. So it does save it inside of the temp folder. Look, all my autosaves here. That's definitely good to know. I don't use autosave in production, so I have to be honest, like in production, like when I use Maya, I don't use autosave, and I'll explain why. I will definitely use autosave for Blender, but in production, you know, sometimes I'm working on scenes that are like, you know, 8 gigs. I think the largest scene I've ever worked on is 14 gigs, and inside of Maya. You can imagine how slow it takes to save. 14 gigs is like, we have 64 gig machines, and if I open a 14 gig scene file inside of Maya, it's my entire RAM is just used up, almost 100%. So in fact, you can't save because there's no RAM left. So, oh, Dushan is in the house. Yeah, so like that's why I don't use autosave in production, because if I open like a LiDAR file and it's like 8 gigs and it tries to autosave, like my whole machine is dead because there's just not enough RAM to actually save the file. But I'm just using like Blender for fun, so I doubt my scenes are gonna go up to like 8 gigs. Good heavens no. So yeah, I'll be using autosave for sure. Alright, I think I'll end the stream there. I mean, you know, I want to keep going, but I definitely want to try to keep these to an hour. And yeah, I think I'll try to finish this off the next stream, like really power through and just like add in all the loops and, you know, start bending the things that I need to, and just UV this bad boy in the end, and yeah, finish this off finally inside of Substance, and maybe we'll do a render inside of Blender, you know, just using like Blender shaders and stuff like that, or we'll jump in Unreal and render this in Unreal. Haven't quite decided yet. I guess it depends how familiar I am with the rendering stuff inside of Blender. I've only used it for the Blender donut, so yeah. Yeah, Maya does crash sometimes during Maya does crash sometimes when it does autosave, so yeah, it's pretty unstable, but I have good habit when I work in Maya. I save a lot, so I save every like 5 minutes, so I don't really lose that much work. But yeah, it's not something I think of when I'm live streaming to save, but I do save a lot. Like I am my own autosave most of the time, but just not when I'm like trying to live stream and think. But yeah, all right. Let's leave that there. Yeah, it's good to see you in the Discord as well, Mixed Chief. And yeah, we'll pick this up in the next live stream, probably sometime this week. And yeah, finish this bad boy off. Thanks everybody. I'll catch you guys next time.